Fiend, fiend, fiend. You can't get it out of your head, but why would you want to? It's such a banger. From WrestleMania main eventer, Travis Scott, you are now running wild with the most underrated wrestling podcast in the world, WellsMania Podcast. I am your host, the Kyle Wells, aka WellsMania. And be sure to follow me all over everywhere at WellsMania, and wherever it is you are either listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or watching on YouTube. Thank you all so much for tuning in to episode 172 of WellsMania Podcast. I am back from Las Vegas, Nevada, and joining me, he is the world's greatest co-host, Payton Payne, Stone Payne Productions on the TikTok. Hit that follow button and fresh haircut. What's up, big haircut? We got the WWE Human Encyclopedia, Jared Giles. Fellas, I am still recovering from WrestleMania 41 and Las Vegas, Nevada. But how are you guys doing?
I'm a little disappointed you're back, but that's besides the point. It was nice to not hear from you for about a week. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm still recovering from WrestleMania as well. Probably not as much as you, but congratulations, by the way. Let's just get that out of the way. We know you're going to talk about it anyway, so go ahead and let's just do it.
Yes, I got some new hardware right here for those that can see. I got married out in Las Vegas. The lovely Ashley Louise and I, we got married out in Las Vegas, which was a beautiful, intimate wedding. So thank you to our friends and family for making the trip out there on our awesome, amazing day. And Payton, Jared, that's all I will say about that. You're welcome. It's my wedding gift to you guys. Just like on the wall behind me, the wedding gift that you guys gave me. So I will not drag it out and make you sick, Payton. So, but no, Las Vegas was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The weather was incredible. The hotel that my wife and I stayed at was Park MGM, and we had a amazing shot of Allegiant Stadium off into the distance. And we were literally right on top of the T-Mobile Arena. However, I did not go to SmackDown. I did not go to Stand and Deliver. I almost went to the Raw After Mania, but I ended up not going. But I did go to Allegiant Stadium to WrestleMania 41, and I'll talk about that here in a little bit. But Payton, Jared, we got it. How are you doing from WrestleMania 41, brother?
Pretty good. It was nice that both nights got done about like 11 o'clock each night on the East Coast time for those of us who had to get up to go to work on Monday. That was a nice surprise.
Can I just talk about time real quick?
It's your show, brother.
Time out in Las Vegas is not real. Okay. It felt like time was just going so slow. When you thought it was later than what it wasn't.
That's
like,
how it is on the West Coast.
Only an hour has gone by. It feels like at least 3 hours have gone by.
Like I've been out to the West Coast enough. I know how to properly deal with it, but to the uninitiated, it's a mind fuck, you know?
It really is. And it took me about we had a residency out there, as Kyle Gant said. He's like, dude, you've been out there for like 48 days. And I'm like, I know it feels like we have, but it took me probably a couple of days to like acclimate myself to the Las Vegas time.
For anybody that has never been out there, if you're going to travel to the West Coast, the key to it is when you get there, you have to force yourself to stay up as long as possible until it's like 3 a.m. our time and then crash. So that way you can force yourself onto that time zone.
Yeah, because that was my second time out in Las Vegas. The last time I was out there was 2008. So it had been a long time. And Yeah, like I said, it took me a couple of days to acclimate myself to the time change. And once I figured it out, it was time to come back home. And fellas, guess who I saw at the airport when I was leaving Las Vegas?
Who's that?
The Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Woo! And I took a picture of him because Ashley and I were taking a taxi to the airport, and all of a sudden I just happened to look out my window, and I'm like, oh my God, there's Ric Flair. So I pulled out my phone, took a picture, and didn't get my window.
You should have went up to him, and then you would have got the same story I got.
Well, I didn't get my window down in time, or else I was going to woo at him. And then the taxi driver, he had no idea who Ric Flair is. He kept driving. And I was like, dude, drop me off here. And he was like, huh? What? And I'm like, okay, fine. Take a Stargate, whatever. So I missed out on an opportunity to potentially have an experience that Payton had.
I can guarantee you wouldn't have gotten a picture. I can guarantee you that.
That's why I took it when I drove by. I was like, hey, this is free game. You know, you're out in the public. So it is what it is. But man, Las Vegas was beautiful. The weather was nice. We got in early, and what a difference it made when the wrestling fans started joining us, because we got in a couple days before WrestleMania, and then you could tell when the wrestling fans started flooding the strip of Las Vegas. And I definitely got my steps in, my exercise. As Jared said, I got a really nice tan going. I still have my glasses on because the ring light is so bright and I'm like really hot. I still have that desert heat beating down on me. And Payton, Jared, I've turned into a hat guy. I'm now wearing hats.
Welcome to the club. Most bald men are hat guys. I don't know why it's taking you so long.
Mainly because I haven't found a hat that really fits comfortably on my head. But boy, this one right here, got this at the WrestleMania Superstore. This thing is nice. The hat that you have on, Payton, that's the brand new Wrestle With This logo.
Yes, it is. You can obtain one of these hats this weekend at Squared Circle Expo if you are there.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about Squared Circle Expo to close out this episode of WellsMania Podcast, because tomorrow is day one of Squared Circle Expo, and then Saturday is day two of Squared Circle Expo. And Payton, I thought you were going to be my co-host for the Squared Circle Expo annual costume contest and promo contest, but broke the news earlier that it will be yours truly running wild with WWT's own Dodger Obencrust. Jared, I don't know if you saw that news or not, but Squared Circle Expo has invited me to host their costume contest. And I reached out to Payton because, you know, I like to try to get Payton involved as much as I can, but Payton turned it down respectfully. But Dodge Obencrust rose to the occasion. He's going to be co-hosting it with me.
We all know I have a huge ego, but you lucked out. Dodge is better than I am. So
wow, that's saying something right there.
You got a gem. All right. Just be careful that he doesn't steal your spotlight. He likes to do that.
Yeah. I will put him in his place if I need to, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you are interested in being in the costume contest, you can sign up for it at the Wrestle With This table inside Squared Circle Expo. The costume contest is Saturday at 5:15 p.m. For more information, you can go to squaredcirclex.com. But of course, this is why you listen or watch WellsMania Podcast, because we're telling you right here, right now. Before we get into WrestleMania 41, I just wanted to tell you guys, WWE World was really cool. I had not been to a WWE World, although it pretty much is exactly like WWE Fan Access, but this is a lot more pro photo op and autograph driven. And I noticed there wasn't as much at WWE World compared to WWE Fan Access, but there were still a lot of cool exhibits at WWE World. I got to walk through the 30 years of Triple H exhibit, which was pretty cool. I got to meet Stone Cold Steve Austin. You guys want to see the picture?
Go for it.
So I paid about $316 for this, no pun intended. But here's the picture of Stone Cold Steve Austin, my lovely wife, and yours truly. We are flipping off the camera in our pro photo op. I thought that was a really cool moment. I told Steve, I said, I shook his hand. He shook mine. I said, it's an honor to finally meet you. This is my wife. We just got married. He goes, well, congratulations. Where are you guys from? And I said, Indiana. He goes, I'll be damned. I love Indiana. And you could tell that he wanted to talk, but the handlers and the people running the photo op, they're like, come on, let's go. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. So pretty surreal, though, meeting Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then, you guys ready for this other photo op? At the same place, at the same time, yours truly with Austin Theory.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We are not the same person.
You don't look anything like each other in that picture.
I've never said that him and I look alike, but for whatever reason, when I'm doing WellsMania TikTok lives, everybody thinks I look like Austin Theory.
Here's what it is. It's right. It's right. It's in the eyes. It's right here in the eyes. Other than that, there is no resemblance at all.
Yeah. No, he's a lot bigger in person than I thought he was. He's like, I think he's a couple inches taller than me, but the dude is absolutely jacked. But then again, he's still in his 20s. So when I was in my 20s, I was as big as him. So hang on to it, pal, because you lose it quick if you don't maintain it. But anyways, meeting Austin Theory was really cool. There's a video that my wife recorded of our interaction. I tried doing the Spider-Man point, Jared. I tried, but he wanted to flex instead. So I think he felt a little intimidated when I walked up to him. He's like, oh, yeah, this guy does kind of look like me. He's kind of big like me, too. Well, let me flex just to prove that I'm bigger. So, Austin Theory's ego was running wild there. But super cool dude. Super cool dude. But yes, had a great time at the WrestleMania Superstore. I didn't spend as much money as I thought I was going to. Guys, take a guess how much I spent at the Superstore.
I think you already told me, so I'm not going to guess.
Like 300?
I spent about $380. I had plenty to spend, but just really, I guess, kept myself in check because I know Squared Circle Expo is coming. So I was like, whatever I don't buy here, I'll probably spend next weekend in Indianapolis at Squared Circle Expo. So, but I did manage to get one of these WrestleMania limited edition Prime hydration bottles. We'll never open it, so I have no idea what the flavor is. But shout out to my fellow coworkers out there outside Allegiant Stadium doing the damn thing in the desert heat. But yeah, fellas, Las Vegas was incredible. And I really hope that both of you can get back to WrestleMania next year down in New Orleans. I think I might go, honestly. I think
if you liked Vegas, Nolans is fucking awesome. So you got to go experience Bourbon Street.
I've never been. I know you have. Jared,
now
have you
that
been to
would
New
be
Orleans?
A trip.
Yes, I went to WrestleMania 30.
Okay, so you both were there at 30. Yeah, we should get all the boys together and take a boys trip down to New Orleans.
All of us partying on Bourbon Street would be a night.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely in the works. That's for sure. But let's get into it, fellas. Let's get into WrestleMania 41. And of course, I have got to say how amazing and how incredible it was to witness John Cena winning number 17 live in person. I didn't care how he did it. I'm just glad that he did it because the last time I was at WrestleMania, the last time I was there, he lost to The Rock. Fast forward, finally, unlike The Rock, I was there. I was there at WrestleMania and I got to witness John Cena win his 17th world title live in person. That was my favorite moment from WrestleMania. Payton, what was your favorite moment from WrestleMania 41?
So this is just favorite moments. We're not going to dive into the
we're gonna
meat
go
of the situation yet.
We're gonna go into the card, and then when
Okay.
we get through the card, we're gonna get into Dwayne's drama. But I just wanted to ask from the start, what was your favorite moment from WrestleMania 41?
El Grande Americano's entrance was my favorite moment.
Gracias. Yeah, it was cool seeing that, and he got a win. He got a WrestleMania win. How about
He's
that?
1-0. He's 1-0. Undertaker, watch out.
Yeah, we got a new streak forming. What about you, Jared?
I'd say my favorite moment was the crowning of Dirty Dom as the new IC champ, which apparently got a huge reaction in the state. I mean, it came across on TV, but I heard the inside Allegiant, the pop was even louder for him.
Yeah, I would say the loudest pops of the night being there inside Allegiant Stadium. Joe Hendry, that was a very loud pop when he came out, but also when Dominic Mysterio won the Intercontinental title. Now, in my section, I had quite a few Hispanic WWE fans, and they were absolutely going crazy, and they were speaking Spanish, and they interacted with me in English, which was really fun. Because I was doing TikTok lives and I was doing TikTok videos. So they participated in my TikToks. But man, when Dominic Mysterio won, my section erupted. And I can imagine there were a lot more sections like that throughout the Allegiant Stadium. So that was a really cool moment seeing Dirty Dom win. And all three of us predicted that.
Yeah.
It was great. I do have another favorite moment. Stone Cold running over a woman in the front row. That was classic.
So you guys want to know what I saw from where I was sitting? Stone Cold Steve Austin missed the ramp to get on. He went off to the side and drove right past it, crashed into the bottom of the entrance ramp.
So then
he's backing up. And then about 20 people rushed to pull that ATV because he got stuck. And then finally he goes up the ramp and then comes down the ramp. And yeah, he crashed into the barricade. I'm like, damn, Steve, how many drinks have you had?
One beer, two beer, three beer, four beer.
What? Dude, he was reckless on that ATV, but luckily nobody was hurt.
Well, look, okay, nobody was hurt. Can we just say that lady was selling her ass off? If you go back and watch the video, he doesn't even hit where she's sitting, and it takes her 5 seconds, and then she does the most fake slow fall over ever.
Well, yeah, she's trying to get a lawsuit out of it.
Yeah.
And
she
I'm
didn't get hurt.
I'm like, lady, Austin tapped it. You weren't on it. You were off the barricade. It might have scared you. Sure. Yeah. It might have startled you, but he did not run over anybody. He did not run over Wheezy Blonde. Apparently everybody thought that was Wheezy Blonde that got ran over. It was not her. Speaking of running into fellow wrestling content creators, you guys guess who I ran into at the WrestleMania Superstore?
Yeah, everyone that probably already has a restraining order filed against you.
I ran into Tag Team Twinning. It was so funny because Ashley and I, my wife, we saw this Randy Orton banner, and I told her, I said, hey, why don't you go get in front of that and I'll take your picture. Well, as she was walking, all of a sudden, Jordan and Sydney start walking up to us and they go, WellsMania, Ashley, it's so good to see you guys. So then we chit-chatted, made a TikTok, and then I can't remember if it was Jordan or Sydney, but one of them took a picture of Ashley and I. It's a really funny picture if you haven't seen it. It's me looking all angry as Ashley's pinching Randy Orton's nipple on the poster.
I've seen it.
It's a pretty funny picture. But I'm glad that Ashley got to see Randy Orton wrestle. She barely got back to her seat in time. I kept texting her. I was like, because she went to go get some food. I was like, you need to come back. Randy Orton's up next. So as soon as she got to her seat, I pull out my phone and I go, it's Randy Orton time. And then I hear voices in my head. It was perfectly timed. But yeah, let's go through the card. I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on all these matches. Feel free to take as long as you want breaking it down, or make it short and sweet. We're going to start things off with night 1 of WrestleMania 41. Jey Uso defeated Gunther to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Your guys' thoughts on this?
Good match. Absolutely hated the finish. The finish of this match might have been worse than the finish of the main event of night 2. I didn't like it. I didn't think it made any sense. I thought it made Gunther look like a bitch. Jey Uso is not a submission wrestler, so why he's tapping somebody out like Gunther, who is a submission wrestler, who has been one of the most dominant in-ring performers in years, made zero sense to me. And Gunther tapping out literally within 10 seconds of the move being put on him made him look like a total wuss. It was an aura killer, and whoever thought that was a good way to end that match needs to be fired.
Jared, your thoughts?
Me and Payton were actually watching night 1 in the same location.
Oh, nice.
So I knew he was shout out to the 5-foot giant for hosting Friday night. Or Saturday night, my apologies. But I didn't have the same problem as Payton did with the finish. It was Jey hit all his big moves and then it wound up using Gunther's moveset to beat him. Gunther in the past when he saw Ilya, now granted those are harder hitting matches, but he kind of has a tendency to just like know when he's caught and tap out quickly. So I had no problem with the tap out finish necessarily. I get why some people did though, so I'm not going to argue that point. But I mean, I think it was the moment everybody thought it would be, Jey overcoming the indestructible Gunther after the way it had been built and losing to him 3 times previously. So hit what it needed, got the new champion, got the big moment, got the yeet, all that over to start WrestleMania Night 1. I had no problems. I thought this was a perfect amount of time, perfect start. Pretty much couldn't do a better way to start the WrestleMania weekend.
I agree. 16 minutes and 30 seconds. That was the time of this match. I thought it flowed nicely. Opened up WrestleMania with a huge pop. Gave us the payoff from the Royal Rumble of Jey winning. So congratulations. If you are a Jey Uso fan, this is the moment that you've been waiting for. And you guys want to do a yeet on 3? 1, 2, 3. Yeet.
Yeet.
There it is. So congratulations to Jey Uso getting your WrestleMania moment, becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion. And it was really cool seeing about 61,000 people yeeting at the same time. It was a really cool moment. The next match I actually missed because I had to go to the bathroom. So it was the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. They defeated the War Raiders to become the new World Tag Team Champions. So, fellas, did I miss anything in this match?
No.
So I strategically planned it just right to go to the bathroom.
You didn't miss anything. There was a lot. The match was fine, but why this was put on the card over a TLC match for the WWE Tag Team titles, I have no clue. I think just like going in to the match, I said there was a lot left on the table, and I think the way this match was booked, the same thing. There was a lot left on the table here. Absolutely no mention or run in from Big E, which I think everybody wanted and expected.
Yeah.
Big E should have been in the War Raiders corner. There was a lot of missed opportunity with the War Raiders having the same style of neck injuries and surgeries that Big E has had. There was just a lot of missed opportunity around this storyline. And I'm actually going to give it to Jared because when we were watching the match, he booked a finish that I think would have been amazing for this match. And then when it didn't happen, we were all sitting there like, oh, well, that was totally not as good as it could have been. So Jared, please tell everybody the finish that you had come up with.
So the finish I came up with was that at some point in the match, like Xavier, like basically it looks like you think like he broke his neck. He's down. He's like selling, like he can't move. All the hush hush. You get everybody going, and then as they're kind of taking him away with the broken neck, Kofi runs up behind and grabs one of the War Raiders, pins him real quick while Xavier grabs onto the other guy and wins the title by faking a neck injury. Does kind of sticking it to the War Raiders in their past and by extension, Big E, and saying like, I knew everyone would be sorry for a guy with a broken neck. That's nothing. Look, I overcame it and won the tag titles. But they went with the finish they did, and the New Day won. And
what was the finish? I didn't. What was it?
It was just a simple New Day. How'd they cheat? They did something stupid that was a very simple cheat.
When they went for the Viking experience or whatever that move's called, where Ivar springboard clotheslines, Kofi tripped him out from the outside, and Xavier gouged Eric's eye, like put his thumb in his eye, and then they did the tag and hit their double team finish.
Okay. But we all had New Day winning.
Yeah, I mean it sort of did what I think we all expected. Like I agree with Payton. I think the story going in could have been like it played the neck thing a little more, and obviously the way I booked the finish that came into a big play, but we just got kind of a standard Raw TV tag title change than WrestleMania moment.
I think getting Big E involved in this would have been a WrestleMania moment. However, we didn't get that. So we got me in the bathroom instead. The next match is Jade Cargill. She defeated Naomi, and I thought this was really cool. And shout out to WWE for reaching out to legendary weatherman, meteorologist Jim Cantori.
Payton had no idea who he was.
Oh, come on, Payton.
He completely no-sold it, and I was very upset.
I had no clue
at the disrespect.
I marked out, man. When you think of hurricanes, it doesn't get much better than Jim Cantori standing in a hurricane delivering the goods. That dude is a legend.
Payton had no reference.
You need to go watch some of his old clips because this guy, first of all, he's insane. Getting out there in literal hurricanes, covering the weather. The dude is crazy. So the fact that they got him to do this weather report for WrestleMania 41, I thought that was a nice touch. And then, of course, Jade absolutely did what she did and beat Naomi. We all had. Actually, I think you guys had Naomi winning.
We had Naomi.
Yeah, I thought they were going to build more of a story. The match was honestly a little better than I expected, if I'm being truthful. I really thought the reverse one to the power bomb looked incredible.
Yeah, it was. It was incredible.
The match was better than expected. I still stand by my opinion that this match needed some sort of stipulation, like whether it be falls count anywhere or just something to add to it, given what the story was based off of an attack in a parking lot. And I think that a stipulation would have made it even better because, you know, it would have hid some of Jade's flaws that she still is working on, you know, and I think that it would have added a little more excitement to it, but still better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I agree. I got back to my seat right in time for Jim Cantori to give us the weather report. I was entertained by this one. I thought both of these ladies did a good job, and I'm glad Jade picked up another WrestleMania victory. The next match, Jacob Fatu defeated LA Knight, to become the new United States champion. And fellas, Jacob Fatu has that aura, as the kids say. He's got that aura to him. Seeing him come out, this is his WrestleMania debut, and he gets a massive mega win over the mega superstar LA Knight. Yeah, was incredible. Your guys' thoughts on Jacob Fatu beating LA Knight?
This was the first match of night one that actually got me feeling like I was watching WrestleMania. Up to this point, I was like, all right, I feel like I'm watching a decent episode of Monday Night Raw. But this was the one where I was like, all right, it's feeling a little bit more like WrestleMania now, with Jacob Fatu coming out in that awesome werewolf mask. The match itself was really good. I don't think anybody was going to question if it would be, because both Knight and Fatu are awesome. LA Knight catching Fatu with that BFT out of the moonsault. Immediate WrestleMania moment. I was getting like, Evan Bourne RKO vibes from that. I absolutely loved it. And then we had the right winner. Fatu winning the U.S. title is what needed to be done. So up to this point, I thought this was the best thing on night one.
Yeah, and the crowd was hot. The crowd was hot for this match. Had a lot of LA Knight fans, had a lot of Jacob Fatu fans. So the fact that Fatu won, I think overall, besides LA Knight Girl, who, by the way, I met at WWE World, super nice, and she was very appreciative that I recognized her. So shout out to LA Knight Girl. Yeah. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get a TikTok together, but next time her and I cross paths, we'll have more time. She was in a rush. I was in a rush, but finally meeting a lot of people that you interact with on social media, always a lot of fun at a wrestling event. Jared, your thoughts on Jacob Fatu becoming the new United States champion?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the same thoughts Payton had. I thought the maybe spot of WrestleMania was the LA Knight catching the BFT out of the moonsault. As soon as Jacob came out with the mask, and I was like, oh, they're going to have to start selling replicas of those because they'll sell a ton of them.
Yep.
So I'm sure those will be on WWE Shop sooner than later. Yeah, I mean, it was a really good match. Good winner. Crowd was into it. And I like how, obviously, you could tell Haku jumped the barricade to celebrate. And everyone's like, I don't think that's supposed to happen. And my point was, who's going to stop Haku? If he wants to go out and celebrate, nobody in that building was going to stop him. So
not a chance.
Nice. He got the moment, and he's like, and then I think Jacob hugged him and was like, hey, you should probably get back behind the big thing. So he scooted over, but I thought that was also just a great kind of moment.
It is so funny because go ahead, Payton.
I was going to say, I have one request. It might take a couple years, but I'm sure you've seen that science has now basically created real world Jurassic Park, and we have cloned dire wolves from the Ice Age. That was a big thing that happened over the last couple weeks. So if we don't get a WrestleMania entrance within the next 5 years of Jacob Fatu riding a dire wolf to the ring like a horse, what are we even doing? It needs to happen. Just straight out of Game of Thrones.
When Scott Steiner came out with the tiger, that's pretty much what you're wanting with Jacob Fatu and one of those wolves.
Except it's a prehistoric monster. It would make sense.
I just hope we don't get like raptors and T-Rexes, because we're all doomed. We're all doomed if that happens. But yeah, to piggyback off what Jared was saying, it was funny because the guy sitting next to me, he had no idea who Haku was. He goes, "Who's that guy? Who's that guy? What's he doing?" And I was like, dude, that's Haku. Like he can do whatever he wants. Yeah. Nobody's going to stop him. So yeah, Haku getting a WrestleMania moment there with Jacob Fatu. That takes us to the next match, which was Payton's favorite moment. El Grande Americano defeating Rey Fenix because Rey Mysterio was unable to go. So Rey Fenix gets a WrestleMania match and makes his WrestleMania debut. However, due to shenanigans, he comes up short. El Grande Americano with the win. Payton?
You calling El Grande Americano a cheater? I didn't see any cheating.
Well, I mean, I saw him put something in his mask. I'm just saying, don't know what it was from where I was sitting, but I saw him put something in there that clearly affected the outcome of this match. Now, personally, I was hoping for the double doink moment.
No, I was about to say that. I was about to say I loved the match. The 450 moonsault thing El Grande Americano did, which actually stopped Chris in his tracks while we were watching the match.
Yes, known El Grande Americano hater.
Yes, he hates El Grande Americano for some reason, and he was El Grande was climbing up to the top rope, and we were like, "Watch this! This is going to be amazing." And then Chris was like, "Well, whatever. He's just going to do some stupid moonsault." And then he did the extra spin. Chris stopped mid sentence and had nothing to say. It was fantastic.
Left him
the match
speechless.
the match was great. El Grande's entrance was phenomenal. I think the only thing that was missing was the double doink moment. I feel like it was a missed opportunity considering we were in Vegas and it would have added so much more to the match. But other than that, I think it was really good.
Yeah. And speaking of paying homage to WrestleMania 9, I went in front of Caesar's Palace and I did my Howard Finkel impression. What was his name at WrestleMania 9? Fincus Maximus. I dropped that promo, had about 40 people watching me do this. So that felt pretty cool. And then everybody came up to me and they were like, dude, that was a great impression of Howard Finkel and WrestleMania's back. And yeah, so the vibe throughout the city was incredible. Jared, your thoughts on El Grande Americano's big WrestleMania win?
The entrance was a nice spectacle. I really liked the match, especially the 450 senton or whatever we're calling that. Enjoyed the match. Right winner. Unfortunate Rey couldn't make. Rey Mysterio got injured the SmackDown before. But I thought Phoenix stepped up in a big moment to get his first WrestleMania appearance, and I don't think it hurt the match quality with a light minute sub. And I guess quickly now's the right time, like to do the thoughts of the big news. WWE bought AAA.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Cool. I'm not gonna say I'm a lucha blog or anything. I'm not a super lucha guy, but I do like to follow what's going on in CMLL and AAA, and I've watched and I've ordered Triple Mania the last several years. It's been on Fight or Thriller TV or whatever it's called now. So very interested to see how that partnership goes. And I know they're doing the thing Worlds Collide on June 7th, which we'll break down as we get closer. But I just wanted to say I think that's big news for the business overall, and pretty cool to see where things go with WWE and AAA and all that.
Yeah, massive news. I was sitting there, and the guy in front of me, I think he was from England. He kept like turning back to me and talking, and he looked at me and he goes, I'm not gonna do his accent because I can't. But he goes, man, WWE acquired AAA, and I'm like, wow. So now they've got partnership with TNA. They've acquired AAA. Dude, WWE and TKO Group, they're out here making money moves. It's only a matter of time before they buy out AEW.
Over under. By the end of the year, is El Grande Americano the AAA champion?
Oh, absolutely. Sí, yeah, sí.
Yes.
And I can't speak Spanish, but I definitely know that word. Sí. The next match was a match that I really enjoyed. Tiffany Stratton, the WWE Women's Champion, she actually defeated Charlotte Flair. This was my first L on the WrestleMania card. I was doing so good, and then Charlotte lost, which was very surprising to me because I thought for sure that she was going to win and get another women's world title run, or in this case, WWE women's title. But your guys' thoughts on Tiffany retaining?
Thank God is what I have to say to that. This match was going to go one or two ways. It was either going to be what we got, which was actually a pretty good match, or it was going to be an absolute sandbagging shit show. Thankfully, that was not the case. Charlotte did the deed. She did what was needed to be done, but you could tell she was not happy about it, and she stiffed Tiffany quite a few times in the match. I believe by the end of the match, I thought Tiffany had got her tooth knocked out at the end of the match.
It looked like it.
It looked like it. Apparently that didn't happen. I don't really know what was going on there because it looked really blatant, like one of her front teeth was missing. But yeah, you could tell. And then Charlotte, the ending was a little weird. I feel like Charlotte didn't really sell the ending of the match. Like the Alabama slam thing they did into the corner didn't look very good. I don't know. I feel like Charlotte, like she did the deed, but she didn't give it her all because it's Charlotte, and Charlotte gets pissy when she doesn't get what she wants.
Jared, your thoughts?
I thought the Tiffany Barbie entrance was very cool. I thought that was a good use of, since they have a partnership with Mattel and they do the action figures, I thought that was a smart use of Barbie. I assume at some point, maybe I don't know if they'll wait till next year's WrestleMania. I assume they'll release a Tiffany Barbie.
That's a good idea.
To be honest, since there's all that cross promotion. I was very adamant the last couple weeks that I thought it was going to be Sandbag City. The match wasn't. The match was good, I thought. I mean, they did have some the Alabama slam spot in the corner, I agree, did come off a little rough, but a lot of people said, well, it wasn't smooth. And I'm like, wrestling isn't always supposed to be smooth. It should feel like a fight sometimes. And
yeah, you got to make it real.
And that match,
I was just gonna say, I agree. It should feel real. It puts a
that
damper
one spot.
on
Yeah,
things.
I'm not gonna say like they nailed that spot. That was clearly Melf. But
it just puts a damper on things when it affects the finish of the match. Because what is it? Bubba Dudley says everybody remembers the finish and really nothing else. So
yeah,
true.
And my wife's sitting beside me, and she's calling out, "Oh, that was a botch. That was a botch." And I was like, "Yes, you're right. That was a botch. That was a botch." And, us being in this business, Payton and I actually wrestling, we try not to script what we're about to do. And I'm sick and tired of the wrestlers. What's about to happen. They're sitting there waiting for the move to happen. They got to stop doing that because it doesn't look fluid. It doesn't look real. It's like, oh, I'm just waiting for the next part in the script. And it's very obvious. I mean, maybe on our end it's obvious, but maybe to the average fan, they don't pick up on it. But I sure as hell did. And I'm like, ladies, you got to stop telegraphing what you're about to do. You got to make it look more fluid. You got to make it look more real. But overall, I was enjoyed by this match. I was entertained. Little upset that Charlotte didn't win, but I'm not too upset because I do like Tiffany Stratton as well. Do not tell my wife. That takes us to the main event of night one of WrestleMania, and we called it. Seth Rollins heisted and stole another WrestleMania, and Paul Heyman betrayed CM Punk. We all saw it coming. That's why you need to listen to WellsMania Podcast. We sat here and we laid it out for you, and it is exactly what happened. Your guys' thoughts on the betrayal and Seth Rollins winning?
This was the best thing the entire weekend. I don't think anybody's going to argue that. I don't think anybody is going to say it wasn't the best thing the entire weekend. This match stole the entirety of WrestleMania week. It was the better of the night of the two main events. It delivered all the cinema. We use that word a lot now in pro wrestling. It delivered the cinema that was required. And I thought all three guys looked absolutely incredible in it. Props to all of them. Paul Heyman is one of the absolute best to ever do it. The man is a selling machine. I thought that the triple swerve at the end where he turns on Punk, then he turns on Roman, I thought it was done very, very well.
Jared?
Yeah, I mean, not much more to say. A fantastic match. I thought all the entrances were very cool. How
about that CM Punk? This fire burns.
Yeah, that was very cool and
goosebumps.
Yeah. So I love the whole presentation from the beginning to end. Great match, great story to finish. Great execution. I mean, it was almost pitch perfect pro wrestling.
Yeah. No, I agree with you guys, and being there live to witness it, it was on another level. It was really cool. A lot of acknowledging going on for Roman Reigns. All of a sudden now, though, some people can't separate, reality from pro wrestling. They're hating on him because what he said about supporting the president. So you got people now turning on Roman Reigns. So those people, they wanted to see Roman lose. Well, they got what they wanted, but I acknowledged him. I threw up my ones when he came out. But how about Braun Breaker? Braun Breaker joining Seth Rollins on the Raw after WrestleMania. We got ourselves a little Evolution 2.0 stable going on here. Paul Heyman as Ric Flair. Seth Rollins is Triple H. Braun Breaker is Batista. It's only a matter of time before who we're going to get is Randy Orton. So I know we're running a little long on time here. So if you guys have any Raw after WrestleMania notes, feel free to throw them in there. But yeah, incredible end to night one of WrestleMania. Speaking of end of night one of WrestleMania, check this out. I bought this at the WrestleMania merch store, a John Cena limited edition rare WrestleMania 41 autograph. This is 723 out of 1,000. So only 1,000 of these are made. $50. I couldn't pass on it. I was like, damn, that's coming home with me. So
get that framed and hang it up by that belt.
I've got a frame. It's I bought it at Target. So as soon as this episode ends, I will be putting that in a frame. Let's rapid fire night two. I actually was late getting to night two of WrestleMania. So I once again missed another match. This is the thing when you've got 63,000 plus people trying to walk across the bridge. Because I don't know if you guys knew this about Allegiant Stadium. You can't get dropped off at the stadium. You get dropped off on the other side and you have to walk across this bridge. I felt like I was in The Walking Dead. My goodness. Getting out of WrestleMania was a sea, a horde of people. Getting into WrestleMania was a sea and a horde of people. Shout out to my wife for being patient. I'm actually very proud of her. She survived her first WrestleMania, but Io Sky retained. Are we surprised by this?
You missed an absolute banger, and I will give them credit where credit is due. I did not like the build-up to this match at all. I thought that the story that was told going into the match was not good. I didn't think it made anybody look good in the match, but these women delivered in what could be the second best match of the entire weekend behind the night one main event. I thought they absolutely crushed it, and about 2 days before WrestleMania, I ended up switching my pick from Bianca Belair to Io Sky because I was like, there's a reason they keep disrespecting Io like this. And I think it has to be because she's going to be the one that walks out still the champion. Because if she doesn't, her career is absolutely buried. So I think that the right individual won. I think that Io looked really good. I thought this was a much better opening to night two than the opening of night one.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back on Peacock and watch this match because, like I said, by the time I got in to Allegiant Stadium, I got to see Io Sky celebrating. And I'm like, oh, well, I got this match wrong. I think this was my second L of the night. I only missed 3 matches. So, Jared, your thoughts on Io retaining?
Personally, it was my favorite match of WrestleMania, but either night. I mean, the men's night one is a close second. I thought this match a little more delivered for me. Fantastic. I thought all 3 looked great in the match. And Io was a bit of a surprise. Like Payton said, though, it did make sense the way the story had built. Should have been getting disrespected. So how do you show that you're really... You beat the 2 people who have been disrespecting you. So it was a fantastic match, fantastic moment. Crowd loved it. Great start. Probably going to go down as it's probably going to go there with Brett and Owen as one of the greatest WrestleMania start of all time before all said and done. So fantastic all around.
And I missed it. It's okay, though. Made up for it at the end of this night. Let's just rapid fire through these next matches. Drew McIntyre beat Damian Priest in the Sin City Street Fight. I was actually very entertained by this match, and this was the 3rd match that I lost because I had Damian winning. Your guys' thoughts? Make it quick.
Loved it. Absolutely. These 2 guys beat the hell out of each other. They crushed it. It was brutal. I think the right guy won.
Jared?
I thought Drew would win. It actually delivered a little more than I expected personally. So that was a pleasant surprise.
The Fatal 4-Way, we touched on this earlier. Congratulations to Dominic Mysterio. He defeated Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, and Penta. The crowd was hot for this match. The entire entrances all the way to the finish and Dom winning. I thought it was really cool. Dom running past Finn and getting back in the ring and celebrating, throwing it right in Finn's face that he's the new IC champ. Your guys' thoughts on this match?
Dom got the biggest pop of the weekend, and it was rightfully deserved. I think, I know we talked about our favorite moments earlier in the show. This probably all in all, I think was a lot of people's favorite moments. Dom deserved it. The crowd let you know that he deserved it. All of these guys did a wonderful job. 3 matches in a row. Night 2 was absolutely cooking up to this point.
Yeah, I agree. The crowd was hot. Jared?
I think all 4 guys in the match came out looking better than they did going in. So I don't think you can have it go any better where everybody gets more over than when they walked out. Out behind the curtain, they were more going back in the curtain. So fantastic.
And a fun fact here, Dominic Mysterio now joins his father, Rey Mysterio, as the third father-son duo to win the IC title at WrestleMania.
Oh,
that's where I was going with that. At WrestleMania. We all know who Dom's real dad is. It's Eddie Guerrero, Latino Heat. Saw a lot of Eddie Guerrero merch out there, people wearing shirts. So long live Viva la Raza. That takes us to the Randy Orton Open Challenge. Like I said, my wife was most excited for this because she's a massive Randy Orton fan. So I'm glad that Randy got a match. And he got another WrestleMania victory, defeating Joe Hendry. We were all sitting there wondering who's going to answer the Open Challenge. Your guys' thoughts on Joe Hendry and Randy Orton beating Joe Hendry?
I was stunned that it was Joe Hendry. I know some people were like, oh, it's going to be Joe Hendry. And I feel like that's become like an inside joke up to this point because every time there's an opening, everybody just says Joe Hendry. It actually was Joe Hendry. And I popped for it. I thought it was good. The match is exactly what it needed to be. It got the TNA world title on WrestleMania, which was cool. And it put over TNA in that regard. And, it allowed Randy Orton to get another memorable WrestleMania RKO moment.
Jared?
Yeah, I thought it was fun. A nice little surprise. The RKO spot will be a great WrestleMania moment.
That was hilarious.
So, I mean, I think it delivered what it needed to do. And you needed something a little lighter because everything was kind of heavy. And there was a lot of heels going over both nights. So I think a light moment, sort of comedic, was the right tone here.
Yeah, Randy Orton doing the mocking of Joe Hendry into his pose. I thought that was really hilarious. And once again, I'm glad my wife got to witness a Randy Orton WrestleMania victory. Logan Paul beat AJ Styles in what I thought was a very entertaining match. And once again, shout out to my boss for getting another prime WrestleMania victory, beating AJ Styles. And if you are still sleeping or hating on AJ Styles, Logan Paul, you're just a hater because the dude is clutch. Logan Paul is clutch. Your guys' thoughts?
Great match. They killed it. I'm tired of hearing people hate Logan Paul. I think the man has earned respect. You can dislike him publicly, like just not like him as a person, and you have every right to say that because he's done things that are very unlikable. But when it comes to the world of professional wrestling, the man has proven himself. He is unbelievable in the ring. He is unbelievable on the mic, and he is a heat magnet. He was born to be a WWE superstar. I thought him and AJ Styles killed it. And pop of the match for me was my boy Karrion Kross. Got a WrestleMania moment. He stopped the brass knucks from being utilized in the ring. And can I just say real quick, my man is getting over.
He is.
The crowd was booing on Friday night when he got eliminated from the Battle Royal, and WrestleMania popped like loud when he showed up at ringside for that match. People are starting to see what I have known all along, and that is Karrion Kross is a superstar.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more with you, Jared.
Logan AJ was great. Kind of agree with both your points. Logan's a fantastic fit for pro wrestling. Gets it. In-ring, mic. Great stuff. Kross cut quite a interesting promo on the app post show.
How good was that?
They gotta strike while there's something there. So hopefully this isn't a thing that they try to build months on. Hopefully he gets some positive momentum and we get something out of it besides just a fleeting moment or two of something looking good and then dying out.
Yeah. Real quick, the next match, we're not going to spend any time on it. Lyra and a returning Becky Lynch won the tag team titles, and then the following night they dropped them and Becky turned on Lyra. We all knew that Bayley was going to turn on Lyra. So insert Becky for an injured Bayley, and we got the same outcome that we already knew what was going to happen. That takes us to the main event of night 2 of WrestleMania. John Cena with his "You Get Nothing" entrance, the black and white John Cena, no pomp, no circumstance, just Cena walking to the ring and getting his 17th time world title victory, defeating Cody Rhodes. And I am so thankful that Cena won, and I was there to witness John Cena win in his last WrestleMania match. And fellas, Payton, you're not going to enjoy this, but I had a migraine. I had a migraine for this match. Dude, my head.
Was it a stress-induced migraine?
It was.
You were so nervous?
I don't know what caused it, but the whole match, like I fought through it, man. I fought through what I had. But my head was just pounding. The lights were blinding me. The lights were too bright. That's why I still have the glasses on, because the light, my eyes are sensitive. But man, I fought, dude, I powered through it, but it was totally worth it witnessing my boy John Cena win number 17. Your guys' thoughts on this match? Right. No Rock.
All right, let's
open that can.
Let's get into it. The match itself, I didn't have a problem with. I think that everybody's like, "Oh, it was a slow-paced match, whatever." What were we expecting? It's John Cena. He was never going to deliver a 5-star classic, especially an older John Cena. I didn't have an issue with any of that. I actually thought, up until going into the finish, it was very much reminding me of Rock Hogan from WrestleMania 18, where the crowd was almost rooting for the heel vet to beat the new babyface, because that was the cool thing to do.
Cody got booed out of the building. I don't know how it came across on Peacock.
No, it was coming across that way.
Yeah, you can definitely tell.
To me, that was cool, because like I said, I was getting WrestleMania 18 flashbacks with Rock Hogan, and we know that that's one of my all-time favorite matches. So I was into it. And I am a firm believer that a slow-paced match with not a lot of pomp and circumstance of in-ring moves can be made 10 times better with a good electric crowd. And up to the finish, that's what I was getting out of this. Then the finish happened, and it all went to shit.
Not a fan of Mr. Fiend himself, Travis Scott, coming out there?
I'm actually going to defend Travis. Okay, I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, F Travis Scott, what is he doing here? He doesn't need to be here." I don't have a problem with Travis Scott. In fact, I think Travis Scott being around adds to both the Rock final boss character, because the final boss supersedes just the world of pro wrestling. So he would be bringing outsiders in to be in his posse. And 2, it works with the John Cena I want to ruin pro wrestling gimmick, because there is nothing that wrestling fans despise more than outsiders coming into the wrestling business and getting a spotlight. So why wouldn't John Cena use somebody like Travis Scott to come in and help him get the job done, because he knows that it's going to piss off wrestling fans, which is exactly what he wants, because he has told everybody, I want to ruin pro wrestling. So I don't have a problem with Travis Scott. I just think the way that it was booked was not very good. The Rock not being there was an absolute joke. I don't, you can blame The Rock, you can blame Triple H. I think the blame goes on everybody, because egos obviously got in the way. There was what The Rock said on the Pat McAfee show, I'm calling total bullshit. I think that going into WrestleMania, there were creative differences between The Rock and Triple H, and they just couldn't come to an agreement, and we ended up getting what we got, which was not very good. You can't tell me that they're selling finally The Rock has come back merch to Las Vegas at the Superstore, and there's a Rock hashtag WrestleMania emoji on Twitter, and there was never a plan for The Rock to be at fucking WrestleMania. I'm not buying that.
Yeah, when I saw that shirt at the WrestleMania Superstore, I looked over at Ashley and I said, he's got to be here. I mean, if they're selling the merch, he's got to be here. He was not there. Apparently, he wasn't even in Nevada. He was back at home watching it on his TV in his living room.
Sitting on his couch. And he said, this is why I'm saying there was creative differences. Did you notice on the McAfee show, he said, I loved all of WrestleMania. I thought it was all good, except I didn't really like the ending to the Night 2 main event. I would have done it differently. He threw that out there on purpose, because he knows that there was a different finish planned and that there were creative differences, and whatever those creative, like I said, there's a lot of people that are immediately jumping to the conclusion of, F The Rock, whatever. We're not with the wizard behind the curtain. We don't know what happened on the road to WrestleMania, and we don't know what the creative differences were. Obviously, we can put blame on both of them. Why that they didn't sit down and work out these differences and give us a finish that would have worked for everybody, I don't know, because what we ended up getting was dog shit. And that blame goes on Triple H and the rest of the creative team. If you're sitting there that day and you're going, well, we know The Rock's not going to be here, that was the best finish that you could come up with. Like, it just, Cody overcame like so much last year, and then this year it's like, one belt shot to the head and it was enough to get the job done. I don't know. It left a lot to be desired. And that's what sucks, because John Cena's 17th world title win now left a bad taste in everybody's mouth, because it didn't give us the cinema that we thought we were going to get coming off of Elimination Chamber.
Almost everybody's. It didn't leave a bad taste in my mouth. I said,
okay. You have to admit, though,
I didn't care how he did it. I didn't care what had happened. As long as I witnessed him win number 17, that is all I cared about. You can call me selfish all you want, but that is the reason. That's the only reason why I went to this WrestleMania, was to witness John Cena's last WrestleMania, and the fact that he got a championship match. All I wanted was for him to win. I didn't care how it happened, whether he had to cheat to do it or be a face to do it. I didn't care, as long as he won and he had that title around his waist backwards, by the way. I thought that was pretty cool. But man, I enjoyed it. I loved every second of it. You're not going to.
You weren't disappointed with how the finish, like. So you weren't disappointed that The Rock didn't come. You weren't disappointed that it didn't set up, that you didn't get more cinema out of it.
I was more surprised that The Rock wasn't there, because of the storyline being built on the road to WrestleMania, and then of course, the only reason why The Rock came back was to boost ticket sales for Elimination Chamber. And then, The Rock telling Cody to give his soul. That was all The Rock's idea. But then Triple H was like, well, why don't we have Cena be the one to do it? So, yeah, like there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. but I don't care about any of that. All I care about is the outcome, and that's John Cena winning number 17. Jared, your thoughts? I know we're running a little overtime here, trying to keep the episodes under an hour moving forward. That was one of the requests that we've had from listeners, because the last episode we did was a little too long. So, Jared, your thoughts?
I didn't hate the match as much as a lot of people did online. The only thing I would say about Travis Scott is I don't think his entrance needs to be 3 minutes. I wish there was a way that somebody could have been in his ear, or Triple H said, hey, like, I get you want to get your, your song and your pyro, and I get it, but like kind of move that along a little quicker would have helped the overall presentation of the finish. I know I picked Cody last week or whenever we did the show, but I pretty much knew with history and the story that Cena winning was really the way to end WrestleMania. We're going long. I could go a lot longer about the Triple H Rock stuff. We'll save that for another podcast, or people can come up this weekend at Squared Circle Expo and ask me about it. I'll be at the Wrestle With This table throughout different times. So we can talk about that offline, because it'll take more than the time we have left when you want to get the episode done in. So I like the match better than most. Glad Cena got 17. Can't wait to see how this rest of the year goes.
Yeah, Payton, real quick. Raw after Mania, we got Randy Orton, RKO, and John Cena out of nowhere. And now, more than likely, that is going to be the main event in St. Louis at Backlash. I plan on going. I'm just waiting for Chris to give green light. I'm waiting on the 5-foot giant to say that I can tag along with you guys.
I will be there. It's going to be a great show. I think right now Backlash is looking like it could be one of the best Backlash cards ever, considering what we got on the Raw after Mania. Real quick, Jared, you don't have to go into it too much, but I just want, like, yes or no, do you agree with me that the problem going in was, do you think there was creative differences between
100%.
The Rock and Triple H? Yes, 100%. You agree then? Okay.
Oh, definitely. We can talk more this weekend, but yes.
Without a doubt, Dwayne and Paul were not on the same page, and that is why The Rock was not there. But it didn't matter. To me, it didn't matter. It doesn't matter that The Rock wasn't there, because I got what I went out to Las Vegas for, getting married to my beautiful wife, and then watching John Cena win number 17 to close out WrestleMania 41. Jared, you bring up Squared Circle Expo. This is the go home of the episode. We have the best wrestling convention in the world, and it starts Friday, tomorrow, April 25th. And it ends Saturday, April 26th at the Wyndham Indianapolis West, Indianapolis, Indiana. If you're still on a high from WrestleMania, well, you're going to get even higher at Squared Circle Expo. I am going back-to-back weekends of pro wrestling, and then I got to take another vacation to recover. My goodness, what a wild time it was out in Vegas, and what a wild time it's going to be at Squared Circle Expo. So, fellas, we've talked about it with Ed a couple episodes ago. We know all of the wrestlers and legends that are going to be there. Unfortunately, we've had a couple cancellations. Somebody that I was really looking forward to meeting, and Payton, that you were wanting to meet, both of them, unfortunately, due to scheduling conflicts. Mike O'Malley and who's the guy you wanted to meet? Walter Hauser. Yeah. Both of those guys will no longer be making it, which sucks, because I actually finished Heels on my flight home from Vegas to Indiana. Great show. If you haven't watched Heels, it reminds me of Wrestle With This. Straight up, what we're doing in WWT is exactly what they're doing on Heels, but yet we do it better. And I'm just saying, if you don't believe us, stop by the Wrestle With This table at Squared Circle Expo. Payton, Jared, let's go around the boxes here, so to speak, around the horn. Who are you guys looking forward to meeting or seeing at Squared Circle Expo 5?
Number one on my list is good old JR Jim Ross.
JR.
He's probably my number one. So I'm excited to meet JR. I believe, Jared, you might know more than me. Is he a Friday only?
He is a Friday only. That is correct.
Okay. So I get to meet him tomorrow then. JR is at the top of my list. Obviously, the modern day Maharaja Jinder Mahal. I'm a big Jinder fan, always have been. So I may take my Jinder shirt just to wear for that one picture.
You should.
And then, of course, my guilty pleasure gimmick, the one, the only, Akeem, the African Dream, the one-man gang. I am excited to meet Akeem. I'm going to try to get an interview with him too, because I do have a media pass this year. I'm going to try to get an interview with Akeem. Those three are probably my top, and then depending on how busy his line is, I may try to snag Kurt Angle.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true. What about you, Jared?
I've got a few photo ops purchased, but pretty excited just to actually kind of hang out with everybody again. It's always a good time at Squared Circle Expo. Jinder, I have the action figure right sort of behind me. You can't really see it, where his from when he won the title. So I'm probably getting that signed this weekend.
Nice.
Some photo ops, some stuff, but it's mostly more hanging out and seeing everybody. I think is more what I'm gonna do. I'll see, Deanna Praza, who I've met a couple times. She's very nice, so nice to talk to her again. Things like that, but it'll be nice fun chilling with you guys.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys in person. Since we no longer do the podcast in person, I don't see you guys as much in person as I used to. I know that's a blessing for Payton, but it's a curse for me because I like talking to you guys face to face. On my list at the very top, you see it behind me. I am wanting to get my WrestleMania 8 poster signed by the Hitman Bret Hart. I'm trying to figure out, I don't want to roll this up, so I may take the frame and just flip it over on the frame and walk it in and have Hitman sign and then take it to my trunk and secure it so no one steals it. That's kind of my thought process. But Bret Hart, Payton, you're going to pop for this one. Gene Schnitsky. Everyone says that my beard, once it goes full gray and longer, I'm going to look like Schnitsky. So plan on getting a photo with him. I love meeting people that participated at WrestleMania 8. So Harvey Whippleman is one that I really would like to meet because he was a manager at WrestleMania 8. And then Layla and I had a WrestleMania 28 moment. Let me show you the picture. I took Jared's idea here. I went and got our picture that we took that was a WrestleMania 28 moment. I plan on having her sign this. As you can tell, I no longer look like that.
You got the second one, right? So you can sign it.
Yeah, I've got I've got a glossy and I've got a matte. So I printed out two. I might just sign the same one, honestly. Might as well. But then another guy that I really wanted to meet that I've never met before is Enzo Amore. How you doing? Bada boom, realest guy in the room. Now, interview-wise, I'm going to try to get an interview with Eric Bischoff.
He had to cancel.
Well,
he was a last-minute cancel. Some sort of emergency came up.
Well, hopefully nothing too crazy. Hopefully Bischoff's doing well. I am now saving money and no longer on the list. But I do plan on interviewing Layla and Tatanka, the Native American Tatanka. I've always wanted to do an interview with them, so been in talks with the guys that are handling his table. Now, here's the possible one on my list, depending on, because with this, you got to go with the flow. I have a Hall of Fame 4-pack. Jared, you probably do too, of the 4 Horsemen.
Yes.
Arn Anderson, Barry Windham, and Tully Blanchard. They all will be there. Ric Flair will not, But if I can get 3 out of the 4 autographs on my Hall of Fame 4-pack, and then eventually running into the Nature Boy again, I think that'd be a really cool autograph to have for the collection. And real quick, speaking of 4 horsemen, I just wanted to send strength and light to the family of Steve Mongo McMichael. He passed away yesterday. That news broke. Very larger than life personality. I really enjoyed Steve Mongo McMichael on commentary during his WCW days, former United States champion, a member of the 4 Horsemen. So long live Steve Mongo McMichael, and of course, a Super Bowl champion for that unbelievable Chicago Bears team. So we're sending our strength and light and thoughts and condolences to family and friends of Steve Mongo McMichael. Fellas, Squared Circle Expo tomorrow at the Wyndham Indianapolis West. Stop by the Wrestle With This table. Get yourself some Wrestle With This merch. The hat that Payton's wearing, he gave me this earlier when him and I were rudely interrupted by Dodge Opencrust. And check this out. We got, let me show this here. Maybe. Wrestle With This t-shirt. Brand new t-shirt. So stop by the Wrestle With This table. And if you think you got what it takes to win a cosplay costume contest, and if you think you can cut a mean promo better than Payton and I, step up and show us what you got. Sign up at the Wrestle With This table. Dodge Opencrust and WellsMania. We will be hosting the annual Squared Circle Expo costume contest, 5:15 p.m. at the Squared Circle Expo on Saturday, April 26th. I can't wait. And if anybody cosplays as WellsMania, well, you got my vote as the winner. Prizes will be awarded. Prizes will be awarded. There's a lot of cool things that they're going to be giving away, autographs and memorabilia, and who knows?
I believe they even said tickets to next year's Expo for the winner.
There you go. So more incentive for you to enter the costume contest. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, fellas, this has been a fun episode, a WrestleMania review. My time out in Las Vegas. Once again, I got married, so shout out to my wife for being patient with me at WrestleMania. She will not be there with me at Squared Circle Expo. I asked her, and she said, no, I'm going to be staying at home. So, but yeah, let's go around, plug any last things before we see each other tomorrow at Squared Circle Expo. Payton?
Go follow me on TikTok at Stone Payne Productions, on X at Stone Payne Prod. Come by the Wrestle With This booth at Squared Circle Expo. Say hi. If you want to cut some promos with us, do some TikToks. Both me and Wells will be around, so please come up. Don't be shy.
Jared?
JC Giles on Twitter, X, and WWE Human Encyclopedia on TikTok. And I'll probably be recording some of the stuff that Wells and Stone Payne are doing over the weekend. So if you see them, I'll probably be around.
Absolutely. Well, fellas, thank you very much for running wild on this episode. Jared, it has been an honor having you on the road to WrestleMania and the WrestleMania recap. We'll probably get you back on here for the Backlash prediction episode.
Sounds good.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Payton, as always, thank you for being the world's greatest co-host. I look forward to seeing both of you at Squared Circle Expo, making a lot of TikToks and just having a lot of great memories made. I look forward to seeing you, the viewers, the listeners of WellsMania Podcast. A lot of you have been reaching out, and now you're going to get an opportunity to meet us all in person. So I look forward to all of you that will be making the trip to Indianapolis. Seriously, do yourself a favor, Squared Circle Expo. It's the best wrestling convention in the world. Come out, run wild with us, and it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to have a lot of fun. I can't tell you enough how amazing this show is. So thank you to Ed, Heather, and Adolfo for the opportunity for Payton and I to be media for this and hosting the contest. Hey, follow me all over everywhere at WellsMania. Thank you so much for listening and watching the show. We'll see you at Squared Circle Expo. Until next episode, take care. Stay positive. run wild, and dominate the day. John Cena, 17, world title, baby. Woo!